hello there. It's Thursday, which means it's day 2 for our draw along show. And I'm glad you're here and ready to do a little bit of drawing with me. Now, the weather here is starting to get a little chilly willy. And today we're going to draw something that reflects that change in temperature, at least where I live. I don't know where all of you are. Maybe some of you are living in a tropical island where it's sunshiny all year long and beautiful on the equator. I don't know where you are, but tell me in the chat. Go ahead and tell us where you're watching from, okay? Alrighty, so to do these drawings, you're gonna need a pencil, a pen, a stick, a marker, a crayon, maybe a knife. You can just etch it into some wood, maybe some of your best furniture. Just go ahead and draw on the furniture, but don't tell your parents I told you to do that. Okie dokie, so I hope everybody is feeling well today. You know, this pandemic is just so weird, and I'm sure it's caused a lot of us to change our eating habits. You know, ever since it started, I've been on the seafood diet, which means I see food and I eat it. Alrighty, now it's time for us to do some drawing. What do you say? Okie dokie. Now, to do these drawings, you're going to need to be able to do a few simple things, okay? If you've ever watched this show, you know that there are only 3 things you need to be able to do to draw along with me. And one of them is a straight line, okay? And the other is a zigzag. And you have to be able to do a curvilinear line, okay? That could be a C curve like that, or it could be an S curve, could be a tiny one like that. If you can do these 3 things, you can follow along with the drawing and you're going to be all set. So get yourself some paper and a pen or a pencil, and we are going to get cooking. Now, first I want to say hi to some folks in the chat. See who we have here today. Well, hello there, Stephen and Sam and Elizabeth and Ariana and Tyler. Nice to see you. Mercurial, nice to see you as well. And I see Elena. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And looks like we have about another 100 folks here popping in as we start. So isn't that great? Let's all do some drawing together. You know, folks, I feel like today I've been operating at all kinds of different speeds. Sometimes going slowly, sometimes going quickly, and anyway, you know what I mean? All right, why don't we get started with our drawing today? Here we go. Now, to get this started, we're going to draw a rectangle. Check it out. We're going to go across like this, okay? And then we're going to come down, not quite as long as this line. Watch about this far. See that? So how long would you say that is? Well, if I were to carry that up to here, it's about half the length, okay? But you know, if you want to bring it a little lower, that's fine too. You know, you can make it a little longer, you can make it a little shorter. It's your drawing, and you can make your drawing look your way. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. If I make a perfectly straight line and you make a wiggly line or a wobbly line, I was going to say wibbly. Is that a word? Gosh. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, okay? So check this out. We're going to then come across this way and then right on up. And there is our rectangle, okay? So we've drawn a rectangle. It is a rectangle that is of landscape orientation. That means it's longer, or wider rather, than it is tall. Now, portrait orientation rectangles are taller than they are wide. So there's a little art vocab for you. All right, moving along, we are now going to draw a rectangle on top of this rectangle. And I want you to see how we do this. We're going to come in a little bit, all right? See how far I'm going? Right about here. And I'm only going to go up about that high. And I'm going to come in on this side and do the same thing, okay? A little bit of symmetry action going on there. And then I'm just going to cut that off. So now I've stacked 2 rectangles on top of one another. See that? Next, I'm going to come back out again, all right, only not quite as far out as that first rectangle. So I'm going to come out to about here, and then here, like so. All right, and I'm going to come up again, and then over and down. So now we have 3 rectangles. We have the first one, which is the largest. The second is smaller on top of it and a little narrower, and then the third is a little longer or wider than the second, but also it's quite narrow itself. See that? That is the beginning of our drawing. Now, I'm going to look at where this line is, and I'm going to pretend that that line is passing behind the rectangle that's above it, and I'm going to just draw a little line right there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, so we've got our good pal symmetry happening right there. And then I'm going to come and look, okay, so I'm going to say, what's the middle of all these shapes that I've drawn? right? Here I'm drawing a imaginary line through the middle. I'm going to come up to the top about here. And I'm just going to make myself a little dot. Now, if you've watched this show before, you know that these dots are there to help guide us to where we want to go with our next line. So what I want to do now is make a C curve to there. This is a curvilinear line. I want to make a C curve to here. Okie dokie, watch. All right, coming up that way and stopping like that. And then I'm going to just carry it all the way across and down to there. And that is my curve that I've drawn. Right, and by adding that little dot at the top, it just helped me to sort of find that spot. Now, up here at the top, I'm just going to do this. Watch, I'm going to do another little C curve. Tiny one like that. Tiny little C curve. Okay. Now check this out. Over here, okay, between this rectangle and that rectangle, and right next to this second rectangle we drew, I'm going to do a little C curve coming down like that. And again, down like that. Okay? Hope you're all following along and everything's going well with the drawing. Just check here, make sure we're having... So Reverb Mike says it's a Lego. Good guess, good guess. Drawing Legos. Looks like a bowler hat, says Elizabeth. Indeed it does. All right, let's carry on, folks. Check this out. I'm going to make a diagonal line from here to here. Okay, check it out. I'm going to go like this, all the way across like that. Okay, that could be a little wobbly if you want. Don't sweat it. And then I'm going to make another diagonal line from here to here. Check this out. Just like that. See that? Now, it's almost parallel with that one, but not quite. Now, if you make it at a slightly different angle or whatever, again, not a big deal, not a problem. You needn't worry about it. Your drawing is going to look great in the end. Okay, now this line here, I'm going to carry it down a little further. I'm going to come down to about here. Okay. And you see where I ended that second line inside the rectangle right there? Well, check this out. I'm going to come just off to the side, right where that ends, and I'm going to curve like this. And then I'm going to come down like that and stop. Okay? And then I'm just going to go 1 and a 2. 2 little lines in between where that line ends and where that other long line ends as well. Okay. Now here under the rectangle, I'm going to just come over a little bit to the right, starting about here, and I'm going to draw down a little further. See that? And then from here, I'm going to go down about the same width as this space here, down, and then 1, 2. Ta-da! And by now, I think we might have a good idea what's going on with this drawing. What do you say, gang? Okay, now leave yourself a little gap between this line and where you start the next one. Okay, I'm going to put it right there. It's a little dot for myself, right underneath that line. Okay, and I'm going to carry this down here, and I'm going to stop before I get to the end of this line. See that? It's a little shorter, okay? And I'm going to just carry it over this way, just like that. Excellente. Alrighty, now from here, we're going to pop on down like this with a little C-curve action. Are you ready? C-curve down this way, and I'm going to stop before I get here. So why don't I give myself a little dot? See that? Always helpful to have a little dot. That's what we call a shallow C-curve because it doesn't curve a lot, right? It's a gentle, gradual curve, shallow C-curve. And then I'm just going to connect right there and then draw another line right above it, like so. Excellent. Okay, check this out. Are you ready? I'm going to take this line and coming off of it, I'm going to make a tiny reverse J, like the letter J, like that. See? We go down and up, and then we go down and up and connect like that. Okie dokie. All right, how are we doing out there, gang? Everybody following along? Everything looking good? Now remember how we were looking at the center of our drawing a moment ago? All right, so I'm going to look at that again, and I'm going to say, okay, I think I found it, and I'm going to come straight down from the center of where we started our rectangle, okay? And then I'm going to take that line, and I'm actually going to carry it down further. And how far am I going to go? Well, check this out. I'm going to take this length, double it, and then I'm going to add a tiny bit more, out to there. Okay, see that? So I'd say about there. Make myself a little dot. Come on down. Price is right, okay? And then here, I am going to carry this same line here, the same length, right? Sorry about that. There we go. Same length all the way down. And I'm going to look at this width. See the width I have here? Now look, if I were to come over here, this is more narrow, but I want to pretend that I'm doing the same width. All right, so I look at the width here, and I'm then going to leave a little space and then do the same thing here. See that? And then I'm just going to come right across the bottom there, and I'm going to come up above it and do it again. Straight across. We go straight on through. Alrighty. And look at this. I'm going to do it again over here, only it's a little smaller. Okay. And then I'm going to do these little C curves. Check out these nice C curves here. Are you ready? There's one. See how that's shaped? And another one. Details on the jacket. All right, you ready for some feet? More C curves. These are going to angle out and then come back. Check it out. Angle out and back. Out and back. Those are some feet. All right, it's a fun way to draw little feet sticking out the bottom of those pants there. Okay, now here comes a small C curve. I'm going to start here, come down slightly at an angle. See this? I'm drawing through, but I'm not actually making any marks. And I go up like that. That's my little C curve there. See that? 1 and 2. And then we're going to go straight this way. Okay. And then I'm going to curve back this way, curving it back like so. Okay. One little line here. Alrighty. And now here comes the mitten. We're going to do a curve up and out. I'm going to leave a little space here, and behind it, check this out. Up and down. Waving hello. Okay? Hello, hello, hello. All right, now for one of the finishing touches. This is fun. Check this out. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. I'm going to make a curve, or rather, pardon me, an oval. See this? Oval, and oval, and then put in some irises there. And there is our friend all wrapped up for winter because the weather is a-changin'. You want to make a few lines here for this toboggan? Go for it. That's a nice detail you can do. And check this out. Watch this. You can make it look like they're breathing cold air. You put a little C curve and a smaller one and a smaller one. See that? And then 1, 2. It's like breaths of cold air. Brr, it's cold. Okay. And there you have your winter figure. You can put them in front of some snow, right? All kinds of cool stuff you could do. Maybe you want to give them some pockets. A little pocket action there. Okay. Things like that. You can do whatever you like. Make it your own. Put some trees back there. And we'll just slide this person over this way. And that was the You Draw It section of the show. I'm going to hide our chili person there because now it is time for Who Made That? So, it is time for you to take a close look at this clue and tell me who made that. If you know the answer, go ahead and throw it there in the chat. We'll see if we have any correct answers. Who made that? Let us see. Let us see. The best dressed fire hydrant I've ever seen, said Reverb Mike about our character all dressed up. That is funny. I like that. Yes, this fella does need some hot cocoa. All right, now, let's see if anybody can guess who the artist is who made the drawing that I'm showing you here. Now, this one might be one that a lot of folks don't know. But if you're into art history, you might have a good idea. And I'll give you a clue. This artist is from Germany, Deutschland. I'm not seeing any answers, so I must have stumped you all. Oh my goodness. Well then, check it out. I'm going to reveal this work. Are you ready? Ta-da! This is the work of one Kate Kulwitz. I'm saying it terribly. I always used to call her Kathy Kulwitz, so that's my bad American pronunciation of her name. German artist, absolutely spectacular. Sculptor, also made a lot of prints and a lot of wonderful drawings. But the reason I wanted to show you this piece was I wanted to talk about self-portraits. Have you ever tried to draw yourself? It's a great exercise, and sometimes a drawing of yourself can reveal more than a photograph. It can reveal feelings in the way that you present yourself. Maybe the mood that you're in or the medium that you choose to use can also be a reflection of that mood. And if you look at this drawing, you can ask yourself, how do you think the artist was feeling at the time that this illustration was made? And it helps to have a little backstory, but I'll first just ask you that. And I'm guessing you would say a little sad, a little melancholy, a little down. Very severe kind of look to this facial expression here. And what we're looking at, by the way, is a woodcut. And I just think it's so cool to look at detail of a woodcut here. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see what a woodcut looks like up close. All that wonderful texture in the line as you cut into the wood. And that lovely print is made afterwards. So a little bit of background. Her son died in World War I. And ever since then, a lot of the work that she did was really sad, honestly, and a little depressing, a little dark, a little having a lot to do with sadness and grief. And so this facial expression you're seeing here really is a great reflection of how she was feeling. And here's a photo of the artist, and I want you to see the resemblance there. And she's really captured a lot, though, in this illustration. And I thought it'd be nice to look at another one. I just could pull it up here. Here is a drawing. It's made into a lithograph on paper. You can see there, same kind of sadness coming through, but again, the likeness is really excellent. So what a great artist. Excellent artist when it comes to self-portraits and really getting a lot through in the drawing. And I want to challenge you all to do some drawings of yourself. Get a mirror set up and try drawing from a mirror. Try not to use a photograph. Try to really sit in front of a mirror and do a drawing of yourself and see what you get. Do a series of them. Try different mediums. Try crayon, pen, paper. Crayon, pen, maybe some pencil, maybe even some watercolors or something like that, and see how they all turn out. Anyway, that is our friend Kate Kulwitz. I can't say it properly. The Germans can correct me. And this is from 1922 or 23. These pieces, this one I'm looking at here is 1934 lithograph, and the previous one was a woodcut. Look her up for some really amazing work. And you know what time it is now. It is time for the animal and activity, where of course you are going to tell me what to draw. And so I'm waiting in the chat to read your suggestions for an animal doing something funny, something strange, something weird, something unexpected. Here's what we did yesterday. We did a fish surfing. How fun is that? We've done all kinds of things. We've done animals playing sports of various kinds and reading books and doing all kinds of neat things. So in the chat, go ahead and throw out your suggestion for an animal and activity. And I will, in the time remaining, go ahead and draw it. And I got about 7 minutes, barely, to get that drawing done for you all, which is a little intimidating. All right, so I'll take a look and see what you all have. Let's see what we have. A starfish doing yoga. That's a funny idea. I like that one, Ariana. A starfish doing yoga. They must be pretty flexible. They're all rubbery. An otter with walrus teeth. That's a strange one, Tyler. You think is an otter doing some kind of Halloween costume? Fool the friends? I've drawn an otter before. Yes, Gabrielle, I have. I have indeed drawn otters. A koala disguising himself as a chef. Ooh, I like that. I might do a koala chef. That's fun. A penguin eating ice cream. I like that. A cat doing the high jump. Oh, cool. A cat doing the high jump. You have to kind of arch back that way, or maybe the old-fashioned way with one leg up. That's a fun one. I like the cat doing the high jump. Yeah, Steven, got it. Cat doing the high jump. Well, here we go. Cat doing the high jump. All right, we're gonna sketch this out. Are you ready? Now, first I gotta get my bar in here, okay? And we're going to do, let's see. This is gonna be our perspective. And then we'll have the rest of the bar there. Now I gotta have that cat's body kind of arched back over this way. Gonna do one of those anthropomorphized kitty cats, right? There we go, that way. And one leg down this way, and the other leg up that way. Okay. And they're gonna have those athletic shoes on. So we're gonna have that. Probably make them lower, actually, now that I think of it. I'm trying to remember what kind of shoes you would wear in that situation. Be fun to give them tall, big, fat socks. I like that. Tall socks, knee socks, why not? And then we gotta have the tail, of course. So the tail's gonna be doing that. There we go. That line of action for the tail. The other arm, sort of twisting the body here. So one shoulder up that way. And get the ears a little bigger. I think that's more fun. Okay, and I'm gonna have them doing that one sleeve there. Actually, I'm gonna make it a little higher. And the other arm's gonna be coming, twisting back that way. Alrighty. Like that. And there is our athletic kitty doing the high jump. This is getting confusing to me, this area where I was drawing the ears, and I want to make sure that that's really clear for me to understand what those shapes are. So I'm going to just spend a little more time working on that. There, I like that better. Okay, that is easier for me to understand. Okay. And there we have kitty cat doing the high jump. And we'll get a little more, whoops, a little more of a thickness to that bar in the front. And that'll help me in the long run. Okay, now how high up are we? I don't know, but we know that the ground is going to be down further away from us, so I'm not going to draw anything else except this line of action. Alrighty, and maybe some whiskers. That's kind of fun. All right, why don't we knock that back? And I've got a few minutes left, so let's see what I can do. Bam. Grab a darker color. Come around this way. And we're gonna do a little ear here and an ear there. Alrighty, shoulder comes that way. And there's one hand. And then we're gonna come around the back. And there's our other arm. And 1, 2, 3. Those arms, those fingers are all spread apart. Far back there in the distance, the little foreshortening action. And then here we have that first leg. Big socks. And we have our athletic shoes. Woo! And then back this way. have the shirt kind of stretching a little bit. There's one bar. We have the other bar right there and the other bar right there. Interrupt that and have the tail coming out. And finally, the other shoe there in the background. And what do you say to that, gang? Ta-da! Okay. Whoo! I just barely made it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'm going to see you again next week. And don't forget, tomorrow's my masterclass at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hope you'll join me. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Remember to be kind. Ciao for now.